Well, Declan, welcome. It's nice to meet you and see you. To leave Chicago, you have a connection there with Ben Johnson, your offensive coordinator there, not calling plays. How difficult was that decision, and was it just because it's the Ravens and that really intrigued you to leave where you were?
Yeah, it was extremely difficult. Obviously, Ben is somebody that I've looked at as a mentor in some ways, and so the situation that I was in was a really good one. I really believed in what we were doing there, getting that place off the ground, and um, our guys, really bought in, and so. Going through this process, I didn't necessarily have expectations to leave. I was very happy with what I was doing. I knew it was going to take a special opportunity to leave and go do that. I did know that at some point in time I wanted to go call plays, and so I went through this process and kind of sketched out, what were the things that I was going to be looking for in an opportunity like this, and going through the interview process with Jesse, the ownership, the front office, this just checked all the boxes, and so certainly really excited to be here and excited to get to work with our guys.
It's not like you're not preparing for that moment of play calling when you're in Chicago. It's not like you're not on the headset. It's not like there's not input. But what is the drastic change of in-game play calling duties?
Obviously, it's a huge thing. You're playing in the game now. It's a much different thing, as opposed to when Ben is calling it, you're upstairs, and I'm still on the headset, but it's a much more supportive role and trying to orchestrate the staff and what needs to be communicated. Actually being in the headset of the quarterback and being able to be the decision maker, you're solving problems faster. You have a lot more hands-on input on the game. But I said it before, most of that work is done during the week. And so the one big difference is that you're really the last one to stamp things, to solve problems and things like that. But otherwise, I was doing a lot of elements of this job in my previous job. And so I feel very ready to do it. I'm very excited to do it. And it should be a lot of fun.
Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, is that just a slam dunk of any offensive coordinator to come in new?
Yeah, I think we have a number of players, obviously, that you get really excited about watching on tape. I'm excited to work with all those guys, and I want to, there's no incumbents ever. Everybody earns their job every year, and yet, those are guys that I've followed from afar for a long time, that I have a lot of respect for their game, and certainly excited to get hands-on and start working with them.
You said during your introduction you've had conversations with Lamar Jackson. There's been some messaging back and forth, including your interview process here. What were some of the things that you were both discussing as far as what you want out of him and what he wants out of you?
Yeah, I think first it started with what my vision of offensive football was, and kind of, you know, he has certain things he's been exposed to that may be different than that, and so I wanted to talk to him about his prior experience. What his relationships were with previous coaches, with previous play callers, kind of the best way he learns, and you always have to view it as a teacher, and so you're viewing the player as a student, and so trying to figure out if you're compatible, if you guys can communicate, get on the same page. And that was where a lot of those conversations were focused. And then as he gets here and we start to implement the offense and things like that, obviously you want to have it be a little bit more collaborative and be able to bounce ideas off of each other. And that really starts once we're in person and able to work together.
How important is the in-person time to have it with everyone participating, whether it's mandatory or some of the OTAs and things that are voluntary of you've got to hit the ground running, this is a new thing, but you also need participation?
Yeah, I think it's critical that those guys are getting in touch with our staff, getting in touch with their specific position coaches, and starting to build those relationships. We said that this is going to be built on relationships, and that has to be there has to be a presence there, and it's got to be a two-way street. And they got to meet us certainly, and we have to do a great job of being the best teachers in the world for them and chasing that. And so. That's a critical piece of getting them here and getting started, and we're looking forward to it.
Lastly, I asked Jesse this when he was hired, but when I'm out here at that first practice and I'm watching the offense, what's the first thing I'm going to notice about the Declan Doyle way of running an offense?
That we're going to be incredibly detailed in what we do, what we ask our guys to do. We're not going to be vague about it. We're going to hold them to a high standard. They're going to know what the standards are, what the expectations are. And you're going to hear detailed coaching from myself down the chain of command, up the chain of command, and that's what that is the calling card of our offense. It's not what plays we run; it's how we do things.
Looking forward to seeing it, and congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you. Nice to meet you officially.
Nice to meet you.